Meanwhile, Kenyan mobile phone firms have been ordered to install equipment to allow the telecom regulators to monitor activity on their networks. It means the Communications Authority of Kenya would have the ability to listen into calls, read messages, and even view financial transactions. But the body says the move is not about mass surveillance and is only necessary in its fight against counterfeit phones. The leaked announcement has sparked outrage in Kenya. The Communications Authority says mobile operators had been in discussions about the system since last year. Now, the Consumer Federation of Kenya, which lobbies on behalf of customers, says the timing of the order is suspicious, given that Kenya will hold its general elections later this year. Now, joining me in the studio here to discuss this further is John Walubengo. He's the Dean of the IT and Computer Science Faculty at Kenya's Multimedia University. Welcome to the studio, sir.
Thank you, Uche. Just a quick correction.
Right.
I stopped being dean about 2 years ago.
Thank you
I'm now a lecturer there.
Okay. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you definitely be able to give us more insight into this issue. We know the Communications Authority of Kenya did come out with a press statement sort of dismissing those claims that this new system will sort of spy on Kenyans. Now, based on what you know about this system, what do you think? Is it something to spy on Kenyans? Give us some information. Break it down.
Okay, the system is known as the device management system. Basically, it's designed to block counterfeit phones or phones that have been stolen or illegal phones, perhaps those that have been brought into the country illegally and now they're being used on the network. So by design, this system is supposed to address that. However, the new system, because those systems already exist within the operator networks. The new design is that now it will be stationed at the regulator. And what makes people more scared is that it's not just the regulator that will have access to this new system, but you have other government agencies like the police, the Kenya Revenue Authority, the counterfeit agency also accessing this system. So that is what has brought the fear, because you don't know what the police can do beyond what is described in the specifications of the system. Yeah.
Now, of course, we know mobile phone operators are actually resisting as well. They're not happy about this as much as the Kenyan people. But without any data protection laws put in place, what can they really do about it? Can they block the government from
No, they
this?
can't. They can't block the government, because if they tried, the regulator can withdraw their licenses. However, they can go to court. And I think yesterday there was one Kenyan activist who went to court and actually got a court injunction today. So as per now, the regulator has been stopped from implementing that system until further notice.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we know that a survey released by a company called Ipsos showed that 75% of Kenyans don't mind the government sort of spying on them or law enforcement looking into their personal phone calls if, of course, it involves national security. Do you believe that this survey is true? And if it's true, then why can't the government go ahead?
It's possible the survey is true, particularly the younger generation don't seem to care so much about privacy.
Right.
But you know, government actions cannot be based on surveys or popularity. They have to be anchored in law. So even if something is popular but is not supported in law, somebody can move to court and stop it.
Now, looking at the mobile telecom operators, if something like this was to move forward, there's actually no data protection bill. There was one in 2013. It has not yet been passed by Parliament. So any chance that we'll see some of those data protection laws, or when will we see them come through?
It's unlikely that we'll have those laws in place before the election. The data protection bill has been doing rounds in Parliament for actually 10 years. And what that bill will do is to protect consumer data. I believe that as we go through towards elections, it may not be in favor for the government to start, giving more protection to the user when they can perhaps benefit from the lack of the laws. So in my own estimation, I do not see this data protection law coming into fruition.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, many thanks for joining us in the studio. Thank you for breaking that down for us. Of course,
you.
that was John Walubango. He is a lecturer at Kenya's Multimedia University.